Hello and welcome to Octopus Feast Tips for Survival. We're just cruising along here, show you the progress. I've got Nemo's Place to level 5 now. We've also got the purple skins in the black market. It goes pink, orange, yellow, purple, red. Just gobbling up some stuff here. Now, this is the area I showed you, where you kind of push people in this way. The next area that opens up is over here. This is level 4. So there's these guys. You won't be able to get them very early on when you get in there. They're a late game kind of thing. And these guys you can get, but you gotta wedge them into these corners, like over here or over here. Also, something that's very lucrative. And when these guys, you're trying to creep up to them, but the red ones have turquoise bottles. They're one of the most important resources in the game. And the little squid you just seen me eat, you wedge them over into here, right? And you kind of place them and you just sit there and move them back and forth if they get out, sorta. And you're able to collect them quite easily. And these guys, you basically gotta, you can't outrun them. You can outrun them technically. You can like grab them at a certain speed and just go like this and collect those swordfish. But when you're actually fighting them, the best way to fight them is to let them attack, back off a bit, right? So they have a little bit of distance. Don't actually run away from them during it, and then just let them attack you and then back up and try to lure one out at a time. That's how I do it very early game. Now you have to be able to take at least 4 hits usually to be able to take one down. So keep your HP up and accelerate that. It's the first time you really need it. Fish do attack sometimes, but it's very rare. Gotta be sitting there for a long time. Kinda be sleepy. Okay, so we got that area secure. And remember, for these guys, you just wedge them while this corner's not there. You bring them over here instead, into this area, and you just put them there. So for over here, these guys are a little bit later in the game that you're able to get them, but you basically just sit in the middle and get as many as you can. You can go to this exchanger here and exchange the seashells they give you for regular seashells. They're like some kind of candy seashell you get from them. So I'm exchanging a bunch here. These turtles, you bring them over here into this corner and you wait and you pick them up and you get a lot of bonuses from it. They don't give any seashells or anything. It's not that bad. And these sharks, they bounce into you. You can't evade their attacks for very long. You can swim away from them, but they'll hit you no matter what. And when they bounce away from you, they go out of your range if you don't follow them a little bit. So follow them a little bit. I would recommend being ready to fight 2 of them at a time a little bit. So having like 250 HP or something like that, or 300 HP. When they bash into you, you can't really avoid it, so you just gotta stand your ground. You can actually run away from them if you can predict when they're about to back off and get away for a little bit, but I don't recommend it. You'll often leave them out of your trail or end up getting hurt more, sorta. So just wait, let them bounce, hit you, get back a little bit, go in for the attack, let them bounce back, creep up on them, and then go back like that over and over again. These guys here, I think it's when you unlock level 4 you can start collecting the event guys, and for some reason there's usually a what's it called? There's like a mission quest on the left side above the octopus upgrading symbol, and it's not appearing this time when I started the game and everything. And I'm sticking with this quest now because I've invested a little bit, you know what I mean, time and everything. So I won't be doing like I was gonna do it like a 1 tentacled octopus and see how far I could get with just 1 tentacle, but I'm not gonna do that now. I thought that'd be really fun though. So if you collect these guys, you get bonuses as a percentage for the event to all your to your stats. And I'll show you what I mean here. So this is what I mean. When you collect so many of those guys and your number goes up, you get pearls and things like cargo space, fish income, catching speed, catching radius, movement speed, and at the top, if you invest some money, because I think it's impossible to get to 1200 or 12,500 tentacles. I mean for OC without investing, but you get an extra catching tentacle at the top is the only difference in any of them. Otherwise it's just higher numbers of the kind of things you can get that I listed. Then there's the rank. At the end of the event, you get what you get in this and your placing. So right now, I'm 1 away from being in the top 1,000. And you get various rewards all the way up. First place, of course, gets a whole bunch. It's actually a pretty good deal if you spend the time collecting these guys. They're a little bit tricky. It doesn't seem to matter how much catching speed you have. They still take the same amount of time. What you want for them is tentacle length and a bit of patience. And if they're going in a way over the walls where you can't really get them, it's best to give up pretty well. Even if you have really high catching speed, it still doesn't really affect it. They make it so you have to hunt each one. You can also buy deals in the game where you can see these ones here, the Furrow Feast, the Furrow Thief. You can buy those to have extra points in the event. So it is a bit pay to win, but only certain people pay, and there's a huge payout at the end for first place, so it does make sense that they can do that. But it's your contribution getting those guys out of the sea. So basically it's just leveling like this for a while and kind of explaining and showing you. I'm way more powerful than you kind of need to be, but I think this is where most people would be at to kind of be able to handle most things, especially for what's coming in the next level. So right now I'm just going to be leveling up for a bit and collecting all these guys as fast as I can. Like I said, with these guys, eventually you can just kind of creep them in. These ones, when you get to a certain level, you just creep up on them like this, and it's way easier to absorb them. Less of them will attack you, and they'll kind of wander away from you. Same with these guys, just creep up on them. Slow approach, the way to go. Now at this point, there's no real way to wedge in those jellyfish, like I showed you, except for right here, and it's kind of tricky, or maybe right over here. But you can usually just follow them a little bit and absorb them, and it is tricky to absorb because they will target the pink fish before the jellyfish, so you want some arms to be able to handle them, but they do give you purple bottles, the jellyfish there. These guys give you white bottles, the sharks. The turtles, all turtles in this game take a long time to respawn, but they're really worth it in experience and fishbone count compared to your capacity. It's good to gobble up the turtles every chance you get. These guys give you red bottles. They're your only source of red bottles in the game that I've found from collecting fish other than ads. So you want to collect those guys as often as you can. These guys here are part of the mission, and you just have to collect 25 of those guys, and there's a guy standing here for it. There's also some quests to what's it called, to repair pieces of a submarine. I might have talked this before. I'll show you what I mean here. I'll grab this shark real quick and this floater. But there's these quests like repair the rudder, repair the sonar, repair the seats. There's 4 of them in total. There's little lines on the map going to them, and when they're active and available, there'll be a green line from the submarine in your base area. That little stand where it says a submarine will be one day. There'll be little green lines taking you all the way to the next quest. They take 2 hours to complete unless you spend pearls. And I'm gonna forget this guy right now and go and show you what I mean. So there's this here, all those cables go back to it, and you get a full submarine. You need this to go to the deep sea, but you also need to unlock everything and collect these keys over here from doing the missions along the way. I said this in an earlier video, but in case you haven't seen it, there's this one here. There's a mission here that you don't really have to do. You don't get a key or anything for it, but it's kind of fun. And I don't know, all the other missions you have to do to get to the deep sea though. I'm gonna collect some more of these guys. So basically I'm just leveling up really quick, show you the next area. And how to do the quests. These are the tough ones. All the other ones are just catch a submarine or an orca for the repair quests, so they're not too difficult. Oh, got a 2-for-1 deal here. 2 of the event guys. These guys I don't think are worth any experience. I'll check right now. Try to get this one in. Oh, I guess they are worth a little bit. Worth 100 or something. I didn't know that. So I get a little bit of experience from these guys. Full. Pretty well full. Best to slow down and kind of stop for your gatherers, those manta rays, because it really helps you out. Gets rid of a little bit of stuff. You can collect a little bit more fish, get some more fish bones. Otherwise, sometimes they follow you for a really long time and can't really keep up and can't collect. Also, one of the missions for repairing the submarine makes your bots 50% faster. So that's all these little guys like your manta ray and convenient timing, your hunter cub, little octopus kind of dude. They all help you out. Just grabbing as many sea creatures as I can to level up. That turtle's really hard to grab and it bites while you're fighting the other guys. Doesn't hurt too bad. But these yellow pufferfish, be very careful when you go after them. They do attack and they do a lot of damage. I think it's like 30. So level up there. But when you fight them, just try to drag them off of the map. And if you drag them too far out of the shark area where you fight the sharks, level 5 I believe. Right here. If you drag them out of it this way, they will disconnect from you and kind of float there and start going back to where they spawn from. So that's something to be aware of. I'm gonna start the next area with an empty stomach, or as empty as I can get, and grab one of these guys along the way. I get 2. Okay. There's a quest in here I'll show you first. This area opens up. This is a bottle exchanger. You can exchange bottles. Oh yeah, and down here, didn't mention this yet, there's a bottle farm. You level this up and you can collect purple bottles from it. And there's the exchanger where you can get different kinds of bottles, trade in your fish bones and everything for seashells. It's an interesting little spot, and if you have a really good bottle farm, it makes very useful later in the game. And later in the game because you gotta level it up. But there's this quest here, collect some of the hammerheads. How many it is? 8 hammerheads. So with the hammerheads, it's like anything that takes a long time to catch when you first get to the area. Kind of put them in this corner over here if you don't have high catching speed. Just hold them there. Move back and forth a little bit and you'll eventually take them out. If you try getting them this way and sending them like this, it can be very difficult. So just put them up against the wall and collect them. So I'm gonna get enough to finish this quest. Remember, red pearl ads are usually worth it. In the deep sea, to level up some of the machinery, to do the seismographic testing is what it's about. You have to use red bottles to do that. It comes in really handy. So I finished this quest, I got 8 of them. There's this guy here. He wants the fish at the back. Now this is kind of a tricky quest. You absorb these very quickly. They take up a lot of space. So how you do this, or at least how I do it, is you just wait here. You have to have at least 1 gatherer for this. It's better to have 2 or 3. But you just wait, and when they come and take the capacity you out, You grab one of them, push them into the walls, hold them there, and then you can collect them that way. It's not that fast, but it's the quickest way. Or you can go back and forth to your farm and absorb all these guys. I'll show you this method real quick. So you go back, so the pink fish take a while to respawn. So you go home. You know, ignore the, I really like going after these guys. The challenge every time. Anyhow, you go back, try to avoid eating as much stuff as you can. I was able to avoid really eating anything there. So I got that shark, kind of proved myself wrong. I didn't think zero on him. You grab a bunch of them, and you go back to your base. And if you go back enough times, there won't be as many in your way, so you'll be able to get some of the mana rays. So you can either do that, or use these guys to do it. So if you don't have enough carrying capacity, it'll be very difficult to go buy these guys and do this. See? And now you can go up and collect these guys. They're pretty lucrative. You get 3 seashells from each of them. I need 4 more of them. I'm gonna head back to base. Now that there's not too many of those pink fish in the way. I always like to offload a bit into my manta rays as much as I can, my gatherers. I'm gonna ignore this guy. Get back there before those pink fish respawn. On this here, you collect those guys up there, they give you purple shells. And you use those like the black market to level up regen, HP, and catching speed. There's also an exchanger for candy shells that give you seashells, but it gives you a better deal than the one by the people floating in the water in the shark area. So it is worth to save them up and exchange them there. You need a lot of them, but you get a lot of them when you just go buy them when you're later game, because it's just really easy to absorb them. You just stay in the middle of them as much as you can and try to stay near the ones. And like a really good technique I use when I can't really see the fish good, trying to hunt something, just look, if you're trying to get like yellow or green or turquoise bottles or purple bottles from something, while you have it in your clutches, just look at the symbol that it's giving you, like the bottle above its head, and it gives you a good way to follow it and actually keep it in your clutches so that you can catch it. That guy looks like he's going over the wall, so I'm not going to bother grabbing him. So I'm going to go back to base now. Oh, I forgot to hand in that quest. I just went to the guy and handed the stuff in but didn't complete it. So back we go. Right, I have a lot of aqua speed, swim speed stuff. Oh, wrong thing. Okay, that guy is gone, so I have 8 of something. I don't know where I'm supposed to hand them in, I forget. It must be in here. I must have not finished this one. Oh, I didn't hand it in. So there's one more quest. This guy is really easy to take down, but if you fight him early and aren't prepared for it, it's not a good idea. See if we can take him down now. I might have to level up a bit. So, see the bar above my head? If that bar goes all the way to 0, you die. He takes you in. But his bar is going down faster than mine. So basically for this guy, he doesn't wander out of your tentacle length, if your tentacle length is high enough at all. So you can just sit here as long as his meter's going down faster than yours and get him. It's worth 100 seashells and 1 point, well, that depends on your fishbone bonuses, but he's worth like a mil kind of fishbone count and 100 seashells, so it's pretty worth. All you gotta do is sit here for it. It's anticlimactic, but it's the best way to go. If you move away from him at all, his bar, like his catch bar, goes up way quicker than yours, so you can actually wear yourself out if you just don't stay next to him. And that's the last quest here. For unlocking Nemo's door. So I did, see, that's one of the rudder quests for the submarine. You just go to those places and they talk about stuff. Pretty sure that was the last quest. It didn't seem like it because the door didn't unlock. Maybe it did. There's a door that unlocks. I'll check if there's any other quests anywhere now that I've completed those. Oh, and for these guys, you fish in, you grab a couple, or as many as you can, and you swim away from them, and you start to do laps around the area like this with them, depending on your catch speed, and take them in a circle, and eventually you'll catch them. And they give you purple seashells, so I'm going to get some more. Be very careful with this, they do a lot of damage. And if you're dragging a bunch of them and you stop abruptly and can't keep up or can't keep going, they will all attack you at once. But they do back away after, so you do have a chance to get away at any point. You just run away from them. They might actually get an attack in on you. And then this is the boost shop. This is where I said you can get your catching speed and your strong body and your recovery. So that's regen, health, and catching speed. I think I've completed all the quests. I'm not quite sure. There must be one somewhere. I'll check if Nemo's door is unlocked. It's supposed to announce that sort of thing. No, it's not unlocked yet. Oh, I gotta complete the submarine. That's all I had to do. There we go. So you actually have to walk up to the submarine on the platform and click complete on it to finish it off. It's after you get all the quests that those bars are connected to. Waiting for Nemo's door. Okay, I must have a quest somewhere. Weird. Look around. It could be a glitch. Might be a bug or something like that. I'm pretty sure I have all the quests complete. I have done them all before. I have the submarine complete. The submarine is finished. Oh, and there is this door too. I don't have enough bottles right now for it. So it goes to a special area where you can collect purple seashells and stuff like that. And there's some sharks and what's it called? An orca. But it doesn't really attack you or anything. I'm not sure if you're at full, if you go to full capacity. Where is this quest? Must be a bug. Every once in a while I reload and play this game and like it doesn't work the way it used to. So I think there's a bug officially, but that's when you're supposed to be able to go to, I've searched everywhere now. That's when you're supposed to be able to go to the, because that door over there doesn't have any quest in it. That is when you're supposed to be able to go to the deep sea. Okay, well, the video was supposed to go on a little bit longer, but I'm gonna have to drop a message to the devs or something like that there's something fishy going on. But I'll check around a bit too and see if I can later make a video if I missed something. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and it helps you out.